In the second module, we first discuss data transmission. For any successful transmission of data, there are two factors which depend on successful transmission. First is called quality of the signal that is being transmitted, and the second is characteristic of the transmission medium. The data transmission occur between transmitter and receiver over some transmission medium, and transmission medium plays an important part in data transmission as it is one of the factor for successful transmission of digital data. So transmission medium are of two types, guided media and unguided media. Guided media means here we use some physical path such as twisted pair wire, coaxial cable, optical fiber. In case of unguided media, which is also called wireless communication, here we use media as air, water and vacuum. To avoid the signal distortion, the medium must pass all the frequencies present in the input without any change. However, no medium is perfect and hence some signal distortion always takes place. Every medium has its own characteristic properties which in turn affect the shape of the signal in transmit. Apart from the inherent properties of the medium, there are some external factors which affect the shape and strength of the signal. In data transmission, there are some terminologies used. First is called direct link. Direct link means the transmission path from transmitter to receiver with no intermediate devices other than amplifier. Means in between transmitter and receiver there is no such other intermediate device, so it is called direct link data transmission. Second is called point to point transmission. Here the direct link between, since it is also a direct link between the two devices sharing the medium, here we can apply to unguided medium, and here point to point means here one transmitter is directly connected to the one receiver, that is one to one or point to point transmission. Multi-point, third is called multi-point. Multi-point means more than two devices share the same medium. If the same medium, whether it is guided or unguided, are shared by more than two devices, then in this case it is called multi-point data transmission. Next terminology is called simplex. In simplex, signal transmitted in only one direction, means transmitter to receiver only. There is no reverse communication, that is from receiver to transmitter, and this is called simplex. For example, cable television. Second is the next is called half duplex. In half duplex, both stations may transmit but one at a time, means both stations, that is receiver or transmitter, may transmit but cannot be communicate at the same time. For example, police radio. Next is called full duplex. In full duplex, both stations, that is transmitter and receiver, may transmit simultaneously at the same time, such as telephone. So this is about a transmission terminologies used in data communication system. As a matter of fact, in data communication system, data are propagated from one point to another point by means of electromagnetic signals. Signals may be defined as a function of time, temperature, position, pressure, distance, and some signals in our daily life are music signal, speech signal, picture and video signal. So signal can be defined as a function of one or more independent variables which contains some information, is simply called as signals. Many signals that we come across are naturally generated signal, but few signals are also generated systematically. In order to understand network terminology, it is important to know how information represented or transmission from computer to another computer. Here information can be transmitted between computer in one or two way by analog signal and digital signal. Here in data communication we basically talk about analog and digital signal, and here we differentiate analog and digital signal. So, or we can say that the signal can be classified into two types. First is called analog signal and second is called digital signal. The analog signal is that type of signal which varies smoothly and continuously with time. This means that the analog signals are defined for every value of time and they takes an continuous value in a given time interval. So we can say that the analog message are characterized by data whose value vary over a continuous range. The signal as shown in figure A is called analog signal. In fact, for an analog signal, the name derived from the fact that such a signal is analogous to the physical signal that it is represented. The vast majority of the signal in the world around us are analog. For example, temperature or atmospheric pressure of a certain location may vary over a continuous range and may assume an infinite number of possible values. Similarly, a speech waveform is an analog signal since it has a amplitude that vary over a continuous range. Second is called digital signal. An alternative form of signal representation is that the sequence of number. Each number represents the signal magnitude at an instant of time. The resulting signal is called digital signal. The digital messages are constructed with the finite number of symbols. For example, the printed language consisting of 26 letters, 10 numbers, space, several punctuation marks. Therefore, any text in digital message constructed from about 50 symbols. Now, since the digital signal is represented only by digits, therefore we can use any number system to represent the digital signal. However, in practice we generally use binary number system to represent the digital signal. In the binary signal or system, each digit in the number takes one of the two possible values denoted by logic 0 and logic 1. Correspondingly, the digital signal in binary system can have only two voltage levels which may be labeled as low and high. As shown in figure B, digital signal. From this, it may be observed that the waveform is a pulse train. This is a pulse train with 0 volt representing a 0 signal or logic 0, and if we take a plus 5 volt, it represents a logic 1. After this, as we know, signal can be analog or digital. Analog signal has an infinite number of values in a range, whereas digital signals can have only a limited number of values. Now let us discuss some basic concept of analog and digital signal. For example, periodic signal. A periodic signal complete a pattern within a measurable time frame, that is called a period. Here period means this cycle is repeated after period capital T, that is called a period, and it repeats that pattern over a subsequent identical periods. The process of completion of one full pattern is known as a cycle. The characteristic of a periodic analog signal are frequency, amplitude and phase. So here we talk about frequency, amplitude and phase of any periodic signal. Here the first figure is a sine wave, which is a periodic signal, while the second one is also a periodic signal, which is square wave. One of the example of periodic signal is sine wave, that is a periodic continuous signal, and it is shown in figure. Here the sine wave is the most fundamental form of the periodic analog signal. A sine wave can be visualized as a simple oscillating curve. Over a period of one cycle, a sine wave changes in a smooth and considerable manner. As shown in figure, this is called a sine wave. Here the sine wave has a peak amplitude A, which show a maximum strength of the signal, and it is typically measured in volts. So the peak amplitude of the signal describes the absolute value of its highest intensity, which is proportional to the energy it carries. For electric signal, basically the peak amplitude represented in volts. As shown in figure, this is called a peak amplitude. This is a peak amplitude. Next is called frequency f. Frequency is called the rate at which the signal repeats. It is measured in hertz or cycle per second. Period can be represented in terms of frequency, and its formula is period t equals to 1 by f. So the amount of time required by a signal to complete one cycle is called a period. It is a measure in second and it is represented by capital T. Also, the number of period in one second is called a frequency. However, it may be noted that the period and frequency are just one characteristics of the signal that defines in two ways. Period is inverse of frequency and the frequency is inverse of period. The relationship between the period and frequency is f equals to 1 upon t or t equals to 1 upon f. As shown in figure, the concept of period and frequency, basically period is expressed in second, whereas frequency is expressed in hertz. Next is called phase. The term phase describes the position of the waveform related to time 0. It also indicates the status of the cycle. The phase is measured in degree or radians. Two signals with the same frequency can differ in phase. This means that one of the signals start at different time from one another. Next is called wavelength. Wavelength is called distance occupied by a single cycle, or we can say that distance between 2 points of corresponding phase of two consecutive cycles. Signal with velocity v. If the signal having some velocity v, then in this case the wavelength can be written as wavelength equals to velocity into time period t. And we know that 1 upon t periodic time period is equals to 1 upon f, so we can write lambda f equals to v. Here lambda is simply called as wavelength, and we know that a signal travel at a speed of light, then its velocity is equals to 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second. Next is frequency domain representation. To show the relationship between amplitude and frequency, we use a frequency domain plot. The relationship and difference between the time and frequency domain represented can best be illustrated with the help of figure. Here we compare the time period, that is called time domain instantaneous amplitude with respect to time, and the frequency domain called as peak amplitude with respect to frequency. In frequency domain concept, the signals are made up of many frequencies. Each components are sine waves. Here we use a Fourier transform for the analysis and can show any signal is made up of component at various frequencies. Each component is a sinusoid and can plot frequency domain functions. Next, in data transmission, we basically talk about spectrum and bandwidth. What is spectrum? Spectrum is the range of frequency which contains a signal. For example, if a signal having a frequency f or 3f on previous slides, as we see frequency f and 3f in a previous slides, so this is called a spectrum. And the absolute bandwidth within the spectrum is twice of f. Effective bandwidth or just a bandwidth is the narrow band of frequency which containing most of the energy in the signal. Next term is called data rate and bandwidth. Any transmission system can carry only a limited band frequencies. The limits of data rate can be carried, and the square wave has an infinite component, so it has a infinite bandwidth. Most energy in first few components, and limiting bandwidth creates some distortion. After this, we talk about data, signals and transmission. What is data? Data is the entities which convey any information. Signals are in the form of electric or electromagnetic representation of data. Signaling is called physical propagation of signal along a medium, such as guided or unguided medium. And last, transmission is called the communication of data by propagation and processing of signals. Next, the question arises, what is digital data and digital signals? Digital data are in the form of text which have a character string. It is in coded form, that is in the sequence of bit. For example, IRA, International Reference Alphabet, this is called digital data. Also, the 7-bit code with parity bit is also called a digital data or digital signal. For example, another example is image. Image is a coded form that is in the form of pixels with number of bits per pixel. So this image is also called a digital data, which may then be compressed. Here at the transmitter side we transmit a digital data, but at the receiving side we get some distorted signal at the receiving end. So in digital transmission there is advantage, it is a cheaper, less susceptible to noise interference, but there is a disadvantage, it suffer more of the attenuation and it loses some the signal strength. In the data transmission concept, as discussed earlier, analog signals are used to represent analog data and digital signals are used to represent digital data. Usually, analog data are a function of time and occupy a limited frequency spectrum. Such data can be represented by an electromagnetic signal occupying the same spectrum. On the other hand, digital data can be represented by digital signals with a different voltage level for each of the two binary digits. When data is transmitted from one computer to another by digital signal, the receiving computer has to distinguish the size of each signal to determine when a signal ends and when the next one begins. As a matter of fact, both analog and digital signals may be transmitted on suitable transmission media. Here, this is called analog signal or analog transmission. In analog transmission is a mean of transmitting analog signal without regard to their content. The signals may represent analog data such as voice, or digital data, binary data that pass from a modem. In either case, the analog signal will become weaker and it become attenuate after a certain distance. To achieve longer distance, the analog transmission system including amplifier that boosts the energy in the signal. Further, the amplifier also boosts the noise component. With amplifier cascaded to achieve long distances, the signal become more and more distorted. For analog data such as voice, quite a bit of distortion can be tolerated and the data remain intelligible. However, for digital data, cascaded amplifier will introduce an error. So, in contrast to analog transmission, the digital transmission is concerned with the content of the signal. The digital signal can be transmitted only a limited distance before attenuation, noise and other impairment distorted the integrity of the data. To achieve greater distance, repeaters are used. A repeater receives the digital signal, recovers the pattern of 1 and zeros and retransmit a new signal. Hence the attenuation is overcome. We can use some technique with the analog signal if it is assumed that the signal carries digital data. At appropriately spaced point, the transmission system has repeaters rather than amplifier. The repeater recovers the digital data from the analog signal and generates a new clean analog signal. In this way, the noise does not become cumulative. In digital signal, the analog signals are encoded using a codec to produce a digital bit stream. Two alternatives are used. The signal consists of two voltage levels to represent the two binary values. The digital data is encoded to produce a digital signal with desired properties. Here, we assume that the Analog signal represent digital data. Signal is propagated through the repeater. At each repeater, digital data are recovered from inbound signal and used to generate a new analog outbound signal. Digital signal represent a stream of ones and zeros which may represent digital data or may be an encoded of analog data. Signal is propagated through repeater. At each repeater, stream of ones and zeros are recovered from inbound signals to use to generate a new digital outbound signal. So here the question arises, why digital transmission? Here we shall compare the performance of the analog transmission with that of the digital transmission system that based upon the following factor. First is called effect of noise, second is distance to be covered, and the third is service provided. On comparing the analog and digital transmission, there is the effect of noise which takes an important part. The digital transmission become cost effective over analog transmission if the distance involved is large. Here let us consider a long distance transmission link that is shown in figure. A signal from the source travel a distance from source, its amplitude reduces due to the attenuation. In addition to that, the signal become increasingly distorted. The noise from various sources get added to the signal. The digital transmission system, repeaters are induced as shown in figure between the destination and source. The repeaters are basically regenerators of the signals. They receive the signal plus noise at the input, separate out the signal from noise and regenerate the signal which is free from noise. Due to use of repeaters, the noise performance of digital transmission system is much better than that of the analog signal. Here it may be noted that the repeater cannot be used for the analog transmission system. The operation of the digital repeater became quite clear with the help of figure. So we can say that there are some advantage of using digital transmission. Here the transmitted signal is in the form of digital, that is a train of digital pulses. Amplitude, width and position of the transmitted pulses is constant and the message is transmitted in the form of coded words. Here the noise immunity is very excellent. It is possible to separate signal from noise, so repeaters can be used. Here we use a coding technique can be used to detect the correct of the error. Due to the higher bit rate, higher channel bandwidth is needed. Time division multiplexing is used for the multiplexing process. Due to the coding technique, it is suitable for military application. Digital modulation systems such as PCM, DM, ADM and DPCM are used with the help of digital transmission system. After this, we discuss transmission impairment. Transmission impairment means the signal received may differ from signal transmitted, causing this is due to the analog degradation of signal quality and due to the digital bit rate, that is bit error. In the most significant impairments are attenuation, delay, distortion and noise. So these are the three impairment which is the most significant in data transmission, that is called attenuation, delay, distortion and noise. First we talk about attenuation. Attenuation means the signal strength falls off. When the signal strength falls off with distance over any communication medium, then it is called attenuation. It varies with the frequency. Higher has more. Higher the frequency, higher the attenuation. Received signal strength must be strong enough to be detected. Sufficiently higher the noise to be received without an error. Strength increase with repeaters or amplifier. Adjust for attenuation by amplifying more at higher frequencies. Second is called delayed distortion. Delayed distortion occurs because propagation velocity of the signal through a guided media varies with frequency. Various frequency components arrive at different time, resulting in phase shift between the frequency. Particularly critical for digital data, since part of one bit spill over into another, causing inter-symbol interference. Third impairment is called noise. Noise are called the unwanted signal that are inserted somewhere between the transmitter and receiver. Major limiting factor in the communication system performance is the noise. So here there is a category of noise. Noise are thermal noise. It is due to the thermal agitation of electrons. It is uniformly distributed around bandwidth. It is referred to as white noise. It is also called intermodulation noise. It is produce unwanted signal at a frequency that is the sum or difference of the two original frequency. For example, a signal with 4 kHz and 8 kHz may add noise at 12 kHz and interfere with the 12 kHz signal. Another category of noise is called crosstalk. In a crosstalk, a signal from one line is picked up by the other and can occur by electrical coupling between nearby twisting pair or any and when the microwave antenna pick up unwanted signal. Next is called impulse noise. Impulse noise is caused by externally electromagnetic interference. It is a non-continuous, consists of irregular pulses or spikes. It is of short duration and high amplitude, minor announce for analog signal, but a major source of error in the digital data. For example, the sharp spike of energy of 0.01 second duration would not destroy any voice data but would wash out about 560 bits of digital data being transmitted at 56 kilobit per second. So in case of digital transmission, the error is the error of noise, that is a major source of error in case of digital data. Next is channel capacity. Channel capacity is the maximum rate at which data can be transmitted over a given communication channel under given conditions. In channel capacity, we introduce four concepts. First is data rate, that is bits per second, or we can say BPS. Second, in channel capacity we talk about bandwidth in cycles per second and unit is hertz. Third one is called noise in channel capacity, that is given by average noise level over a path. And the fourth is error rate. In this we introduce a rate of corrupted bits. Limitations are due to the physical properties of in channel capacity, and the main constraint on achieving efficiency is noise. Next is Nyquist bandwidth. In the case of channel that is noise free, if the rate of signal transmission is twice of the message bandwidth, then can carry signal with a frequency no greater than bandwidth B. Here given bandwidth is B and the highest signal rate is twice of bandwidth B. For any binary signal, twice of B bits per second needs bandwidth B hertz, and this can increase rate by using M signal levels. According to Nyquist formula, we can use capacity equals to twice of bandwidth log M to base 2. This is the Nyquist formula through which we can determine the channel capacity. Here the data rate can be increased by increasing signals. However, this increases burden on receiver. Noise and other impairment limits the value of M. Next formula is called Shannon capacity. In this we consider the relation of data rate, noise and error rate. In this, faster data rate shortens each bit, so burst the noise corrupts more bits. Given noise level, higher rate means higher noise. Shannon developed formula relating these two signal to noise ratio in decibel. Signal to noise ratio in decibel equals to 10 log signal to noise ratio to base 10. And in case of capacity can be determined by C, and it is equals to B log 1 plus SNR to base 2. Theoretically, the capacity having a maximum and get much lower rates in practice. So this is about Shannon capacity formula. Next we talk about transmission media. Transmission media is a physical path between transmitter and receiver. It is used to conduct or guide any message. So it is called guided media. It is used as a conductor such as wire or optical fiber cable to move the signal from senders to receiver. When it is wireless, it is called unguided media. Here we use radio waves of different frequencies and do not need a wire or cable to transmit any signal. In guided transmission media, the transmission capacity depends upon the distance and on whether the medium is point to point or multi-point. In guided transmission media, we can use twisted pair wires, coaxial cable and optical fiber cable. In case of twisted pair wires, it consists of two insulated copper wires which are arranged in a regular spiral pattern to minimize the electromagnetic interference between adjacent pair, that is called crosstalk. It is used to customer facilities and also over distance to carry voice as well as the data communication. It is generally called as low frequency transmission medium. It is of two varieties, STP, shielded twisted pair. In the figure we see here is STP. In STP, that is called shielded twisted pair, the pair is wrapped with metallic foil or braid to insulate the pair from electromagnetic interference. Second variety is UTP, unshielded twisted pair. In unshielded twisted pair, each wire is insulated with plastic wraps, but the pair is encased in an outer covering. A twisted pair wire having three categories. Category 3 UTP. Here the data rates of up to 60 megabit per second are achievable. In the second one's category 5 UTP, data rates of up to 100 megabit per second are achievable. It is more tightly twisted than category 3 cable. Category 7 STP, in this the data rate is exceed to of 10 gigabit per second. It is more expensive, harder to work with. Twisted pair having some advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of twisted pair is it is inexpensive and readily available. It is flexible, lightweight, easy to install. Disadvantage is that it is the susceptibility to interference and noise. Also, there is attenuation problem. In case of analog, repeaters are needed every 5 to 6 km, and in case of digital communication, repeaters needed every 2 to 3 kilometers. Here relatively low bandwidth is used, that is 100 up to 100 megahertz. Next guided media is called coaxial cable or simply called coax. It is used up to bandwidth of 500 megahertz. It has inner conductor surrounded by the braided mesh. Both conductors shares a common central axis and hence called a coaxial cable. In the figure we see that the outer jacket is of polyethylene and then shield, that is braided wire. In between conductor and braided wire there is insulating material. Coaxial having also advantage disadvantage. Coaxial cable use higher bandwidths, that is 400 to 600 megahertz. Over 10,000 simultaneous voice conversion can be achieved. This can be tapped easily, have much less susceptible to interference than twisted pair. Repeaters requires every 2 to 3 km. Disadvantage is that it has high attenuation rate, make it expensive over long distance. More repeaters are required, especially for digital signaling at higher data rates. It is also called bulky. Fiber optic cable, a relatively new transmission media used by telephone companies in place of long distance trunk lines, also used by private companies in implementing local data networks, require a light source with injection laser diode or light emitting diodes. It consists of three concentric sections. First is plastic jacket, under this there is a glass or plastic cladding, and then we have a fiber core. There are simply three types of fiber optics. First is called multi-mode step index fiber. In this, the reflective walls of the fiber moves the light pulse to a receiver. In multi-mode graded index fiber, this act to refract the light towards the center of the fiber by variation in the intensity. And in case of single mode fiber, the light is guided down the center of the extremely narrow core. Fiber optic having advantage, disadvantage. Advantage are greater capacity, 100 of gigabit per second, smaller size and lighter weight, lower attenuation, immunity to environmental interference, greater repeater spacing, 10 seconds for of kilometer, highly secure due to tap difficulty and lack of signal radiation. Disadvantage is that it is expensive over short distance, require high skilled installers, adding additional nodes is difficult. In guided media comparison, that is for point-to-point characteristics, twisted pair having a rate of 100 megabit per second, bandwidth is 3.5 megahertz, and the repeater required for every 2 to 6 kilometer. In case of coaxial, the megabit per second increases, that is rate increase up to 500, bandwidth also increase 500, and the repeaters are installed for shorter distance, that is up to 1 to 10 kilometer. And in case of optical fiber, the rate is much higher, and the repeaters are installed at every 10 to 50 kilometers. Next is called unguided communication, that is wireless communication, wireless transmission. In this, the transmission reception are achieved by means of antenna. Antenna may be directional, having higher frequency. Transmitting antenna put on focus beam. Transmitter receiver must be aligned. Omnidirectional antenna is also used for low frequencies. Signal spread out in all direction, can be received by many antennas. Wireless examples are terrestrial microwave transmission, satellite transmission, broadcast radio, infrared. Terrestrial microwave use the radio frequency spectrum commonly from 2 to 40 GHz. Parabolic dish transmitter, that is mounted high as possible and used by common carrier as well as by private network. Required unobstructed line to site between source and receiver. Here the curvature of the earth requires stations called repeaters, which is about 50 km apart. Next unguided is called microwave application. It is called long haul telecommunication service for both voice and television transmission. Short point to point link, that is between building for closed circuit TV or link between LANs. It is used for bypass application, that is bypass local telephone company to reach long distance carrier. Here the microwave data rates are typically having a digital microwave performance bandwidth of 2 GHz, 6 giga, 11, 18, and the corresponding bandwidth and data rate is shown in table. Microwave also having advantage, disadvantage. Advantage having no cabling needed between sites, that is transmitter and receiver. It has a wide bandwidth, multi-channel transmission can be possible. Disadvantage is that the line of sight requirement, there must be a lines of sight requirement, and it is expensive tower and the requirement of the repeaters. It is subject to interference, that is for example passing airplane in case of rain. So these are the disadvantage in case of microwave communication. Next is called satellite transmission. In satellite transmission, microwave relay station is used as in a space which can relay signals over long distance. Geostationary satellites are used which remains above the equator at a height of 35,863 km, which is called geosynchronous orbit. Travel around the earth is exactly the time the earth takes to rotate. Satellite transmission links. In this, the earth station communicate by sending signals to the satellite on the uplinks. The satellite then repeats these signals to downlink. The broadcast nature of the downlink make it attractive for services such as the distribution of television programming. There are a wide application of satellite communication. First is television distribution. In this, a network provides programming from a central location. Direct broadcast satellite, DBS. Long distance telephone transmission. In this, high usage international trunks are provided. Private business network also required a satellite. Global positioning, that is called GPS service. In this, we use a satellite communication system. Advantage of satellite is that it can reach a large geographical area, having high bandwidth, cheaper over a long distance, The disadvantage are that it has the initial cost is very high, susceptible to noise interference, and there is a propagation delay of 1/4 times of a second. Next is called radio communication. In this we use a omnidirectional antenna and that is easily received broadcast radio having 30 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, that is FM, UHM, VHM television. In mobile telephony, several bands are used, that is below 1 gigahertz. Wireless LAN can be used 2.4 gigahertz range from for 100 megabit up to 525 fits. Next is called infrared. In this, modulation of incoherent infrared lights are used. Here the wavelength up to 900 nanometer use and up to 2 megabit per second is the data rate. It does not penetrate walls, so this is disadvantage. No licenses is required for infrared. And for more detail, we refer to this chapter number 3-4, William Stallings, data and computer communications.